Every 73 seconds, an individual is sexually assaulted in the United States alone. This chilling fact is a stark reminder of the severity of sexual assault, a global issue that affects people of all genders, ages, and backgrounds. Across the world, the numbers are equally alarming, with a reported rape case every few minutes. But as distressing as these figures are, they merely scratch the surface of the reality. The vast majority of sexual assaults go unreported, often due to fear, shame, or the belief that justice will not be served. And sadly, this belief is not unfounded. In fact, less than 5% of reported rape cases result in a conviction, leaving countless victims without the justice they deserve. As we delve into these statistics, it's vital to remember that each number represents a person, a life irrevocably altered by such a horrific act. These numbers are not just statistics, but individuals whose lives are permanently affected. In India, a woman is raped every 15 minutes. Let's delve into a specific case, without revealing identities, to shed light on the cultural and societal factors that contribute to this horrendous statistic. A woman from a rural area, let's call her Asha, which means hope, was the unfortunate victim of this violent crime. Asha's case is emblematic of the bitter cocktail of deeply ingrained patriarchy, lack of education, and social stigma that runs rampant in certain parts of India. The aftermath for Asha was a journey through hell. She was ostracized by her community, blamed for bringing dishonor. Her life was forever altered, her spirit crushed under the weight of societal shame. This is not just Asha's story, but the story of countless victims who suffer in silence, their voices muffled by the deafening noise of societal norms. Despite the severity of the issue, cultural norms and laws often fail to protect victims. These stories echo across the vast landscapes of Asia, a chilling reminder of the urgent need for change. In South Africa, 1 in 4 men admits to raping someone in their lifetime. This chilling statistic brings us to the heartbreaking story of a young woman from a small village in South Africa. Her case is not isolated, but rather a reflection of the rampant rape culture rooted in patriarchal beliefs and societal norms. The woman, who we will refer to as Thandi, a common South African name, was violated by a man she knew, a man from her community. The aftermath was devastating, not only for Thandi but also for her family and community. The stigma and shame attached to rape victims often lead to their ostracization, further victimizing them. The perpetrator, on the other hand, may face little to no consequences due to the deeply ingrained misogyny and the lack of effective law enforcement. The normalization of rape in some societies contributes to its high incidence. In Sweden, the rape rate is 66.5 per 100,000 population. A daunting figure that puts the seemingly tranquil country under a harsh spotlight. Let's delve into a specific case from this Nordic nation to understand the complexities behind these numbers. In a quiet town, a young woman's life was tragically altered. The assault, a terrifying ordeal that left scars beyond the physical. The perpetrator was someone she trusted, shattering her faith in relationships. The societal response was mixed. Some rallied in support, recognizing the urgent need for change. Others, entangled in a web of denial, blamed the victim. The aftermath was a community divided, and a woman left to rebuild her life amidst this turmoil. The high incidence of rape in Sweden, a developed nation, is a stark reminder that this is not an issue confined to developing countries. It's a universal problem, demanding global attention and action. The high incidence of rape in developed nations shows that this issue is not confined to developing countries. In the United States, 1 out of every 6 women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape. A chilling fact that underscores the severity of the situation in this part of the world. Let's consider a particular case, which, though anonymized, is representative of the many stories that remain untold. A young woman, we'll call her Jane, was sexually assaulted on her college campus, a place where she was supposed to be safe and secure. This incident is not an anomaly. Far from it. In fact, it's a painful reality that many women face across the country. The cultural and societal factors contributing to this high incidence of rape are manifold. Predominantly, there exists a pervasive culture of silence and victim blaming, which discourages survivors from coming forward. Jane, like many others, was initially hesitant to report her assault due to fear of retribution and social stigma. Moreover, the societal normalization of sexual violence, often propagated through media and popular culture, fuels the issue further. This, coupled with inadequate sex education and a lack of understanding of consent, contributes to a toxic environment where such heinous acts can flourish. The aftermath of such an incident is devastating for the victim and the community. Jane suffered from severe emotional trauma and had to drop out of college. Her dreams, aspirations, and sense of self-worth were all shattered. The community, on the other hand, was left in shock, grappling with the reality of such a horrific incident happening in their midst. Despite the trauma, Jane found the courage to report her assault and seek justice. Her bravery brought the issue to the forefront, sparking conversations and prompting calls for change. But the fact remains, the onus should not be on the victims to instigate change. Societal change is urgently needed to address this issue. This includes fostering an environment where victims feel safe to report such incidents, educating people about consent, and challenging the normalization of sexual violence. The high incidence of rape in the United States highlights the need for societal change. And this change begins with acknowledging the problem, understanding its roots, and taking collective action to combat it. Rape is not just a statistic. It is a global crisis that requires immediate action. This is not just about numbers on a page. It's about real people, real lives, irrevocably changed. It's about families torn apart and societies that are left to grapple with the aftermath. We must foster a culture of respect, consent, and equality. Education is key. It's about teaching everyone, from the youngest child to the oldest adult, about the importance of consent and respect. We must also push for legislation that protects victims and punishes offenders. But it doesn't stop there. We need societal change, a shift in attitudes and perceptions. We need to break the silence, shatter the stigma, and ensure that victims are heard and supported. There are many resources available for those affected and those who wish to help. Reach out, seek help, and offer support. Take a stand against rape. Your voice can make a difference.